So everybody, welcome to Barbershop, Israel Keys Barbershop, episode 5. And hey, what's a real barbershop if you don't have other people in the conversation? So I got one of my day ones here with me. Chrissy, do you want to introduce yourself? To let the people of the world know who you are.
Who am I? Hi, my name's Chrissy. I have a YouTube channel as well. If you guys want to.
Yeah, shameless plug. Go along. Yeah, tell them about your channel. Go on.
It's called Style Medium. He's gonna put the link in the description.
I will put the link in the description. Yes.
And yeah, basically same kind of, well, not really the same concept, but fashion, beauty, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. So we're relaunching this year, 2020. Look out for that, guys. So yeah.
And I recommend that she's got a lot to say. And I've known Chrissy like more than half your life.
Basically.
Yeah, you want to tell people how we met?
We met when I was about 12, 13.
Yes. And she's more than double that now, by the way.
Yeah. I'm old, you know. I'm getting old.
You are, yeah. your clocks.
I know, right? Oh, let's not.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
I'm not going there.
I am not going there. I'm not going there.
But yeah, met as my youth pastor.
Yeah.
That was interesting. That was an interesting.
It was a very interesting season of both our lives. I turned up at the first, so this is the story. Those of you don't know, in addition to the Barbershop channel, I run a couple of other things. I run a wealth, financial, investing, trading academy, and I'm also a minister. I'm one of those dudes that preach, and pounds a pulpit, but I'm a real one, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you can say that about yourself. Can you call yourself a real one?
I just did. We got some guys in the room, actually. You can't see them. We've got Gerard, we've got Eric, and we've got Esther, who's somewhere around the corner doing stuff that Esther does.
So you guys get the real barbershop.
Yeah, so this is a real barbershop. Yeah. And I picked Chrissy for my first conversation because we're
going back and forth.
Yes. So we thought we might as well just bring it to the camera if we're having barbershops on the phone every other day. But true story. So I'd been a minister before. I came to this church and then I was asked to look after the young people there. This was about.
I'm losing years. Like I keep forgetting years.
This was 2000. So I came to Sheffield. I came to Victory Assembly in 2004. Mm-hmm. I left to start in 2009. So this was 2000 and roughly. So I met you in 2004 when you were about 12, 13. But I'm just giving away your age, but that's fine. Cool. And then I became your youth pastor in 2008.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Cool. And so I turned up at the first ever youth service, remember, in a suit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was an auditor. I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers.
And this was 2008. So
yeah. Turned up in a suit and a tie. And there was this, then you were about 16, 17, and this bunch of teenagers looking at me like, dude.
Like we're about to have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, let's see what this one's gonna be about.
But we had fun, and I came back next week, with a leather jacket, a black T-shirt, and a pen and a medallion chain.
Yeah, I remember that chain. It was a white T-shirt.
Was it? No, it was the one with the silver. Yes, with the J on it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So I was like, hey, I'm a slow learner, but when I learn.
Yeah. Remember that. Wow.
And I watched you go to university. I watched you graduate. I watched you just I never have said this before. I'm kind of proud of you.
Oh, you have said it.
Yeah. Okay, I am proud of you. I am proud of you.
I am still do, but no.
I am proud of you. I am proud of you. And one of the things that I really love about Chrissy is, one, she's real. Two, she'll let you know how she feels. Sometimes she will let you know how she really feels. Yeah. And that I love about her is and that's why I think you love her channel. She's in a perfect balance. She's a girl or she's a gal, but she's the kind of gal you want to have boy chats with, sports, life, and she's not, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but she's not, she's still feminine. She's not trying to be a man.
That was a struggle. You know that.
I remember. Because
it was all one side.
Yeah, you came from track bottoms, and then you tried the dresses, and then
I know.
But then we found
the middle.
And the middle is ripped jeans and and I think progress, yes. And I think I kind of went through a similar phase myself where I was trying to say, okay, am I the suit guy or am I the youth pastor guy? Because I was always the suit guy. I was an auditor. I was a preacher even from when I was a lot younger. And you guys really taught me how to be real.
Yeah.
So for those of you who wonder where I get my horrible slangs and my bad grasp of Auburn culture from, these guys are
No,
responsible.
after a while we stopped. After a while we just stopped updating him because
Yeah, but what you guys don't know, there was always a mole. There was always someone
that was
on
still-
the low who was
yeah.
still feeding me the lingo.
Like, who told him why are you using that in a sermon? No, don't.
Speaking about using stuff in a sermon, true story, Chrissy. Remember the time when I came to church and I said on the pulpit, God's not white or black, he's 50 shades of gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd heard the youth talking about 50 Shades of Grey. I had no idea. Now people don't realize. I mean, I think I'm a lot caught up now. But back then, I lived in a bubble. It was church, work.
True. But 50 Shades wasn't that long ago, you know. Maybe the books came out.
Yeah. And I was hearing you guys talking. The 50 Shades came out in 2009.
Is it?
Was it? Yeah. Was it 9?
Oh, was it just recently the films came out? Well,
Yeah, it was 9. But then when the films were in production, you guys were talking about them.
Okay.
And I heard 50 Shades. I thought that would be really nice. You know, God's not white or black, it's 50 Shades of Grey. And the whole church went silent.
Oh my God! Oh, headlines!
You know,
Pastor said God is
And
50
I'm sure you didn't know what happened until after December.
Nope. And I had just planted my own quote unquote church. So I was a new pastor in a new city where no one knew me. A few months in, I'm up preaching, and there's like at the time like 20 something people in church, and I say God's not white or black, he's 50 Shades of Grey, and I see everybody go 50 Shades of Grey
Like,
in their face. And then one of you guys came to me after the service and was like, Pastor, don't ever say that again. And I was like, what's wrong with that? And it was Ore. And she said, Google it. So I went home, and like a few hours later, I thought, let me Google this thing. And then when I looked at Google, I went 50 Shades of Grey.
like, wow.
I was like, you know. So we started from the bottom, and now we're here.
Now we're here.
You know, and so when I want to forget about life and work and ministry, Chris and I, we just,
Those were simpler days, even though they seem not so.
I'm telling you,
But
you know,
they
they
were
were
simpler
simpler. They were simpler. You know, in the words of one of my younger brothers who's about your age, he says, he says, growing up is a trap unless you win the lottery along the way.
Like, you guys lied to us. No, you did not tell us any of this.
Misery loves company.
Whilst you guys were there preaching the gospel, telling us to love Jesus, you didn't say, "Oh, and by the way, this thing called life, this thing called adulting." No,
because they lied to us too. So
you
it's a right of, no, it's a right of passage.
no.
No. Hey, but wait, I tried to warn you all. Remember,
Yeah.
you guys wanted to be big, and I was like, take your time. Like, no,
now
wait.
that's what I'm telling everyone. Like, don't
You know,
do it.
it's like the cycle of life. So you want to grow old,
Yeah.
then you get old, then you want to be young again, and you're telling the young people you want to swap with them. They're like, they want to swap with you, and it just continues and continues. Anyway, I think we're getting a bit too deep
Yeah,
now.
we're walking down memory lane.
Yeah. So let's keep this light. So barbershop. So what are we talking about today?
What were we talking about online? Jurgen
Klopp. So disclosure: Chris is a Chelsea fan,
You know, yes.
or used to be a Chelsea fan.
I used to be a hardcore
Core Chelsea fan.
My jerseys, everything.
Yes, I remember them days. Yeah, I remember them days. And I used to be a hardcore Man United fan.
Used to be.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm hearing that for the first time.
oh yeah, I used to be a hardcore, as in hardcore, as in yeah. I'm a lot lighter now. Trust me. Trust me. Man U used to be able to wreck my entire week,
Yeah. Same.
and I would struggle to function working.
Yeah.
And one day I woke up and this was what set me free. I read an article. I think we just lost either the Liverpool derby or the
year was
match. I can't remember. This was roughly 2006
Okay.
or 5. We lost to either Liverpool or Man U. You could check the records. I think we lost Man City. Sorry,
City.
and I think we lost kind of bad.
Okay.
And then there was a report about how the players were out in a bar a few hours from there and were laughing it up. And a group of fans were crying in their teeth, saw the players. And I thought, these dudes are the ones getting 100, then it was like 80, 90 grand for the wages blew up. And I'm like, look at these dudes.
Just another day in the
Another
office.
day in their life. And
Literally.
I was like, man, forget it. I was
you
like,
guys are not worth
I'm
my
like, bump
emotions.
that.
But my love for Chelsea was kind of going down when Mourinho was going out. when Drogba moved to some next
But yeah,
country.
but see, this problem I've got with you guys, your generation, and I'm yeah, that's an old man speech.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're not really a Chelsea fan, are you? You were a fan of certain people.
Yes, I must say that.
Yes.
Yes, I was, and I was called a glory chaser for that.
Of course you were. Roman Abramovich and all that.
No,
Russian
but
money.
You know what really drew me to Chelsea?
Mm-hmm.
It was Mourinho. The same way Klopp is kind of drawing me to Liverpool right now. It was the leadership style. It was the way they could command.
But they're
team.
different, though.
They are so different.
Very, very different.
Mourinho's cold. Okay,
I'm not cold the word I'd use, but Mourinho is. He's obsessive.
He is.
Yes, he's robotic.
Klopp is obsessive as well.
In a different way.
True.
Klopp reminds me more of a German Alex Ferguson.
Yes.
He's volatile, he's emotional, but it's inclusive, it's expressive, it's joyful, it's warm.
But
and trust me,
I'm expressive. What was expressive?
yeah, but Mourinho's more. I'm a Mourinho fan. I wanted Mourinho in Man U for a long time, and
but when he came,
yeah, I was. It broke my heart. It wasn't the right time.
It
Yeah, it wasn't the right time. Broke my heart. Mourinho's an example, in my opinion, of how to not evolve, or what happens when you don't evolve. Because Mourinho tried to treat Man U in 2018 like Chelsea back in the day. Yeah. And it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Because first of all, then he was the young manager. He was new. Yeah. Nobody knew about him.
And that arrogance.
The swag. He was a novelty. And he was like a legend to the players. Because like this guy just came from She's a British girl. She's a girl from the block. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Stick to one sport.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But your cricket. You do cricket.
I dabble in
yeah,
cricket.
but you're British sports.
Yeah.
I'm more American sports.
Oh yeah.
So American for NFL. People say you can't call yourself an American sports fan if you call it American football.
So it's football. Yeah.
So it's football. But there's a guy in the NFL who is now starting to change. Who reminds me of Mourinho?
Is it
John Gruden?
Okay.
He took over a team called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And then took over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then the Raiders. And when he comes in, his passion, his fire, his but then it wears out because it's my way or the highway. It's like Mourinho used to divide the football pitch into 9 sectors, and he had a rule for what you had to do in each sector.
Wow, that is obsessive.
Yeah, so it works.
Yeah,
but it gets boring
and
tiresome.
Yeah,
and secondly, Mourinho is the kind of guy who should coach a team that's low on talent but high on character, because he'll maximize your talent.
Yes.
But if he has a team that's high on egos,
yeah. Ooh, but that Chelsea team he coached, there were a few egos.
But it didn't last. That's the point.
Yeah.
The same players who loved him were the ones who sabotaged him.
Yeah, that's true.
Psst, John Terry. Terry, Terry, John, JT, but so, and Terry still lost Mourinho till today.
Yeah,
he just couldn't take it anymore.
True,
because it burns you out. Anyway, I don't know. Mourinho's like an itinerant preacher. The guy who comes and lift up your hands, fire. He's great. He lays hands, but he can't be your pastor.
Yeah.
Note to self. Because he'll weigh you out because you can't be,
True. So that was what drew me to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I don't know, there's something about Klopp that is just drawing me to Liverpool at the moment. And I think it's the heart of it. I've watched so many interviews, like I need to stop. It's close to stalkerish now. And I just love his style and his simplicity. When he first did his interview, he was like, I'm a normal guy. He was like, call me the normal one. I'm not the special one, I'm the normal one. True. And there's just something very grounded about him. Yes, he's passionate, he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I'm just like, Klopp, man. And now that they're what? Now, how many points clear?
Like I told you, I'm that disconnected from being hardcore that I know the order of the table. I don't know the point. That's what I could tell you. The points of the first the top 10 teams, their points, their goal difference, wins, draws, losses. Nah, I just
same.
Yeah, like I know Man U drew again today, and I'm
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Now, unlike you, I'm a real Man U fan.
Okay, I would
Like
give you that.
I've been supporting Man U since I'm dating myself since 1990.
I wasn't even. Yes, I was. I no, I was.
Yeah, I'm the old guy in the room. Wow. Anybody in this room born in 1990? Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. Yeah, I'm old enough to have watched the 1990 World Cup and
wow,
and cried when my team was kicked out.
Yeah.
And then I watched the 94 World Cup when Nigeria qualified because I'm British, but I was born in Nigeria. And I really cried when Baggio kicked us out.
Yeah.
But so I've been a Man U fan since 1990/91.
Okay.
So this is my Man U legacy. Brian Robson.
Okay.
Eric Cantona.
Ooh, yeah.
Keane. Then Scholes, the Giggs first. Then Scholes, Beckham, Nicky Butt, and the Neville brothers.
Yeah.
Then Oli coming in, Sheringham, Dwight York, Andy Cole. Berbatov was much later. That you're showing your age. Berbatov was much later. And then Beckham fell out with Fergie. I was gonna say got traded. That shows you I'm a real American sports fan. Got sold to Madrid, and then Ronaldo came in. When we beat Bolton 4-1 his first game and he was stepping over everybody. Then he had a bad season. Then Rooney came in and, then the Rooney thing, then the Berbatov years, the Tevez years, when we won the Champions League with Ronaldo, when we lost again to Barcelona, the Ronaldo left. So I've been through everything. Van Nistelrooy, yes, thank you. And then I'm going to show you I'm a real Man U fan. If you remember guys like Jemba, and Kleberson and Nani and Anderson, and so I'm a real Man U fan, and it's not been fun recently.
It really hasn't for you guys.
It's not been fun recently, and my second ever barbershop podcast was about the value of leadership. Because the thing that Ferguson understood, and I think Klopp gets. And even to a certain aspect, Guardiola gets that Mourinho doesn't get is the best kinds of leaders are not the full story.
Okay.
You're not necessarily, you're the most important person in the organization, but you're not the most vocal or the most visible person in the organization.
Okay.
So real good leaders, sometimes you don't miss them till they're gone.
Yeah.
And one of the things Fergie did, and I said in my podcast, and you pointed out, the Klopp does is he knows how to break the whole down, and probably in my opinion, one of the best coaches in all sports in all times history is my American, my NFL football team coach, Bill Belichick, and his quarterback's Tom Brady.
Okay.
And he has a mantra called "Do your job."
Okay.
And NFL football is the ultimate team sport. It's like physical chess. It's like if rugby is checkers, NFL's chess. It's more mental than physical. And you've got 53 players on a roster, 11 on offense, 11 on defense, and everybody has to move perfectly for it to work. Well, Belichick takes the entire scheme and he breaks it down and says, this is your job. Run 10 yards forward, turn right, and stand there.
Yeah.
Don't tell me, I saw an open. Do your job.
Yeah.
And so when the Patriots they've won 6 Super Bowls with Brady and Belichick. And when you see the documentaries, they keep talking about how when something happens in a game, they practice it 6 or 7 times in practice. So a few years ago, when a guy called Malcolm Butler won the Super Bowl by making an interception when the other team was just about to score. He said he got beat by the same player in practice weeks in advance.
All right.
And Belichick had the foresight to know, because when they ran the play in practice, it was a crossing route. I'm trying not to, but
No, I get
too
the
deep.
picture.
But
I get your picture.
so you got two receivers, two cornerbacks. The cornerbacks are defending the receivers, and then the receivers cross.
Okay.
So they run their defenders into each other.
Ah, okay, okay.
So you're defending her, Eric, you're defending me, and I start off on this side, and then we run together. So you guys literally take each other out to play. So one of us gets free. And it happened in practice, and he got scored on,
Okay.
and Belichick pulled him aside and beat up on him.
Yeah.
And when they were on the same spot on the field, Belichick figured they're going to run the same play. The personnel were the same. If you watch the documentary, you can see them changing the personnel. So they subbed someone out. They said, Malcolm, go in. Because Belichick understood, this guy just got beat by this same play in practice,
yeah.
and I chewed him out in public.
Yeah.
So they sent him in splits. And Malcolm said when he got in the play, he said he knew exactly
what?
he didn't care about what the quarterback was doing.
Yeah.
He knew his job was,
Yeah.
don't let that guy run into me. So he jumped the route, intercepted the ball, and they win. And both Mourinho and Klopp have the same DNA,
Yeah.
in that Lampard used to talk about those days in Chelsea, how Mourinho would tell them how they would score.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He'd say, you're likely to score by the left back being out of position. But the difference is, Klopp, it's just this year that we're starting to shout about him in the Premier League.
Yeah. But
But Mourinho's always got to be in the news. Mourinho has to be the biggest star in the team. And as a leader, it doesn't always work.
yeah,
And it breaks my heart because I love the dude to death.
I do. He's truly the special one. He's
know.
truly the special one.
Well, Shade, if he wins anything with the Spurs, he will be the special one.
Definitely.
Because Spurs, y'all are-
Definitely.
the thing worse than being a Spurs fan is an Arsenal fan the last 10 years.
Stop.
Yes, Shade, yeah.
But I think what I also like about Klopp and his leadership is, I think I was watching an interview where it was like, I take players who have potential, and then we together develop that potential. Like, don't give me a finished product. Give me someone I can work with. Give me someone
Yeah.
whose ego is
Yeah.
not bigger than the team.
And Fergie was like that.
Yeah. And I see that relationship with them as well. There was a time where he was talking about what's his name? Firmino, yeah. Yeah, Firmino, like, he said he wasn't scoring. He was feeling a bit down about it. And you obviously talked to him about it. And in that game, he scored. And his celebration was, he came off the sidelines and gave Klopp a hug. And everyone was talking about it. It was like, oh, that was nothing. It was just saying, thank you for still playing me, for still believing in me, even though I haven't put anything on the score sheet recently. And it was like, mate, yes, that score sheet is important, but it's you. It's what you're doing for the team. Like, you have a place in the team. It's not necessarily about, what about the plays you're making, please? And
Plays, yeah.
your position in the team as well is what matters. And even someone like Robertson, a lot of people talk trash about people like that, but he sees the
Sees the diamond in the rough.
Exactly. He sees, like, but we needed him to do that. There was an important part that they played in that team.
And sorry to keep bringing back to the NFL. Belichick's like that. Belichick will, he says he's looking for a specific kind of player. He doesn't care what you can't do.
Yeah.
He cares what you can do. And he says, my job as a team is to design a scheme that maximizes your potential
yeah.
and hides your flaws. And for me, who leads for a living,
Yeah.
ministry, business, whatever, I'm like, that's deep.
That is,
My job as a leader is to create an environment and a system that maximizes your potential
yeah.
and hides your flaws.
As your flaws.
Where's the offering basket?
So we're gonna put the thingy-link in.
No, we're not.
Okay. So talking about that, and the FA. Let's talk about the FA Cup.
God. Yeah,
Let's
FA
talk
Cup,
about
yeah.
the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And the FA schedule and the
Yep.
timing and the winter break. That's really not a winter break
Break.
for these players. And sometimes you might think, yeah, well, you're getting paid 100 grand. Shut up and take it. But like, there is so much that goes into it, and their body is physically for them as well.
But see, there's a reason why most of the time the Champions League winner comes from Spain or Germany.
Yeah.
And it's not because we don't have great players in the Premiership, but they're tired.
But
They take breaks, one, and then two, our game is a lot more physical than the Spanish league, for instance. Now, the German league is a bit different. It's a bit similar, sorry. But the Premier League is literally about athleticism. And then there's unlike Spain, the weather is horrible, so you're mentally tired.
Yeah.
You know, the country's slightly, well, actually, no, it's about the same, country's about the same size, but the travel and everything. And
I also think, in addition to that, the spontaneity and the unpredictiveness of English football in general to other leagues is horrible. You really know who's going to be at the top of the
yes,
at the end of
you're
the
right.
season.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right.
English Premier League, Leicester
Gerard,
wins one season.
Gerard, that's a great point.
That's true.
Gerard, that's a great point because in Spain, for instance, there's really 3 teams, and there used to be 2. And another guy who I love, Simone, has dragged Atletico into the conversation. Yeah. That's another special one, by the way. That's another special one. Yeah, because 10 years ago, Atletico was, you know. But in Spain, if you're Real Madrid or Barcelona or Atletico, you have 6 games a year that are emotionally draining.
Yeah.
You may lose to one of the other teams because you're complacent, but it's not emotionally draining. But when you play the Clásicos, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and when you play the Madrid derbies or the Atletico Barca game, it's draining.
Yeah.
In the Premiership, you have 38 draining games because anybody could beat anybody on any day. And I think this is the only league in the world, or the only football league in the world, soccer league in the world, where that's true.
Yeah.
And so they're physically tired, they're mentally tired.
They don't spend time with their families.
And so I think Klopp is, you know, I was doing a leadership seminar earlier today, and I was talking about how leadership is influence. And it's not just intentional influence.
Yeah.
And how when, for instance, if you're going to be a leader of a church or a business, you're not just leading your staff or your congregation, you're leading the world around you who's observing.
Yeah.
And for the hottest manager in the league, whose team is running away with the league, to take that stand. Trust me, there's several other managers and players who are happy, but they don't have the clout to say what they feel.
But they asked Pep though. Pep was like, first of all, I'm not Klopp, but second of all, trust me, I understand where it's coming from. Because no manager, no one actually running the team was part of that meeting when the FA decided they're going to put games during that winter break. So Klopp decided, you know what? I'm going to rest my players. I'm going to get the younger players to do it. And what the bigger problem was he's saying he's not going to be managing. He said they have a manager. So I'm gonna get, first of all, the youngest,
and it's legal. It's not against the rules.
It's like,
and that's why the FA is so upset because there's nothing they can do about it.
It's like, wait, I have another team I can actually use in this game, and it was like, I'm not trying to be a troublemaker, but
and the interesting thing is that team actually has a good chance to win that game.
They do, and even when they drew 2-2 to
Shrewsbury.
Yeah, when they drew 2-2, obviously everyone was like, it's a game we can win. Like, we can win. So he believes in them, and it's like for the rematch, he's like, I'm gonna let their manager manage them, and I'm gonna put the youngsters because I will give these players it. And then he broke it down. He's like, you guys are thinking it's some kind of vacation. No, wherever they're gonna go, they're gonna have trainers. So they're gonna go in groups.
Yes,
and they're gonna have trainers. So it's not like, oh, we're just sitting on the beach. No, they're gonna be training.
But see, okay. And I'm sorry to cut you short.
No, go on.
But it's a barbershop.
Yeah, go
on. I played collegiate sports, so different levels of commitment. I tried out for the soccer football team. I wasn't really my thing.
Okay.
But then we had an intramural league.
Okay.
And my team won the league. 2 out of the 3 years I was on campus.
Okay.
So that was very high level. I played basketball for a while. I didn't start, but I was on the team. But then I was a starting running back for our NFL football
version.
Football. You know, hey guys, I'm a legal alien. I'm a British man who wants to be in New York. Some of you are too young to understand the dad joke. It's a song. Okay. But there is a drain that comes from game day that has nothing to do with playing.
Okay.
Travel, team meetings, team talks, preparations. It trains you whether or not you play.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So I never played a competitive game for the football team or the soccer team, but I was a starting running back for the football NFL football team, and I was on the basketball team, so I went to games.
Yeah.
It drains you. It's not just the running around.
Yeah.
The preparation drains you. So it's I'm with Pep and should I say I'm with Klopp.
Klopp. Yeah.
1,000%. And I think it always takes a what's what I'm looking for now? It takes a respectful rebel for things to change. Martin Luther King was a respectful rebel. Muhammad Ali was disrespectful rebel. But you get the point.
Yeah.
Someone has to take a stand. And take the heat. Someone who matters.
True.
Someone that can't be ignored. One of the reasons why I love this generation of sports people coming who they don't accept dribble and shut up anymore. Nah. They understand that, we're going to come to Kobe in a second. But people like Kobe and LeBron and, they understand that when they sit and Tom Brady's my second favorite athlete of all time.
Who's your first favorite?
Kobe.
Okay.
One of the things I have against Brady is he's a company guy. Doesn't say anything controversial. Doesn't, but I love athletes because they have a platform.
Yeah, and a lot of them figured, I'm going to use this platform because art is meant to imitate life.
There we go. And so, Klopp's my guy. Let's talk about Kobe for a little bit.
I still can't talk about Kobe, I've been staying off social media. And it's weird because I'm not a Kobe fan like that.
I am.
I know you are. And I know, when I saw the news, I was like, is P.O. okay?
Several people were reaching out to me like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
It was like my blood relative died.
Yeah.
Because Kobe and I go way back. And I know that sounds arrogant, like we used to go for dinner, but we never met.
Yeah.
But Kobe's about my age.
Yeah.
He was the first sports idol I had, quote and unquote, who was my age group.
Okay.
So guys like Maradona, guys like Michael Jordan, guys like I'll call some soccer players, but some of you guys wouldn't know them. They were like dads. So it was easy to idolize them because they were older.
Yeah.
Kobe was real. Kobe, my boy. We could be friends,
Yeah.
And then to watch him come into the league as a 17-year-old, this is what I like about Kobe. People don't realize this. Kobe started his career in the playoffs with 3 air balls in one game. Think about that.
Wow.
3 air balls in one game. Back to back to back. And ended up, in my opinion, as one of the 3 greatest players of all time and my favorite of all time. Kobe was talented, but he wasn't the most talented basketball player. He definitely wasn't the quickest, biggest, fastest, or strongest.
Yeah.
He was the most intellectually intelligent, in my opinion, ever. But he wasn't, and he had one of the highest basketball IQs. But there were other guys with basketball IQs just as great, like Magic Johnson or LeBron. But Kobe maximized everything God gave him.
Everything.
And he was a star so bright that he forced you into his orbit of will. Kobe was a dividing line. He was like Marmite. If you could handle him, he was the best thing you saw. Yeah. But not everybody was built for him. It was intense.
It was intense. Because his work ethic as well was like...
No, and I see all the stuff that guys like LeBron and Wade and Carmelo say now. I knew this story. That's why I used to be upset when people used to talk about Kobe as though he was this. Because I knew when he went on the Olympics team, LeBron didn't play defense for that Olympics.
Okay.
Wade didn't play defense for that Olympics. They came back. Bosch wasn't playing defense. They spent 2 weeks with this dude and they all came back saying, that's what we need to be.
Yeah.
And after that, they all start winning.
Yeah.
They all start winning championships. Their work ethic goes to the roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kobe came into the, people talked about how Magic Johnson was this smiley guy who brought everybody in and Kobe was surly. But Kobe was like Magic early on till he had his legal issues. and realized that he couldn't trust the whole world.
Yeah.
You know, and I know there's a debate about whether or not to bring up those issues now.
Yeah.
Believe what you want to believe. I have, anyway, let's not go there. But the facts are, whether you like it or not, that he was never convicted.
Yeah.
The cases were dropped.
Mm-hmm.
He did settle out of court in the civil suit. But people make it look, and I'm not casting judgment on who was right or wrong. People make it look like the accuser was bullied, but it was the truth. She had. I feel guilty going into this but she was found to have multiple semen samples in her underwear. Right. In essence, she'd had sex with at least 3 people, including him, in the 48 hours in that period. Okay. Including one after that was dated. So the credibility wasn't, privately and publicly he maintained his innocence. Right? Privately and publicly, his Catholic priest says he confessed to him that he was innocent in private. The reporters who he spoke to in private says he kept telling them, I'm innocent. But whatever you want to believe, right? Yeah. Since that day, this guy has been a model citizen. True. The worst thing he's done was use a gay slur, not as a gay slur, but I grew up playing sports. Okay. So the word that started with FA and rhymes with maggot wasn't a homophobic slur per se. In that it wasn't used to attack a person who was gay. It was used to insult someone else indirectly it was a slur, but it was a force of habit. And he owned it. He paid a fine. He came back, he became an advocate. Every mistake this guy has ever made, he's come back and done something. He's not just apologized. He's gotten actively involved without cameras in stuff to demonstrate his reformation.
I think another thing that hit so hard as well was...
how much longer we got?
I think we've just been talking about it's 10 o'clock.
Wow, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's wrap this up. Yeah.
I think for me what hit was his daughter as well, because she literally, like, everyone will come up to him and be like, you need to have a boy, and his daughter would be like,
I got this, man.
I got this. And she
looked like him, she walked like him, she talked like him, and see,
she did one of his moves, the one where he turns around on the defense.
See, this is the thing, I'm a dad. I got 2 sons. The day I heard Kobe died, my brother Pastor Shegun called me and said, bro, have you heard? I said, heard what about Kobe? I was like, oh, because LeBron passed him yesterday. I like Kobe's cool. He's reached out. Yeah. He says, you not heard? I said, no. He said, sit down. Oh. I said, I'm sat down. He said, are you sure? Oh. I said, Kobe's dead. I was like, nah, you're joking. And I Googled it and I saw it and I screamed. I screamed so loud, my wife came from downstairs in our house and ran upstairs. She's like, are you okay? I was like, no. But when I found out Gigi died, it took it to a whole new level, because as a dad, I thought, how does it feel in your final seconds knowing that your baby is going to die and there's nothing you can do to protect her? That night, I stood in the door of my son's room for a few moments. I was looking at them. I was like, nothing's happening to you. Yeah. But Kobe showed us that you could be one of the most celebrated people in the world, one of the busiest people in the world, and still be a full-time dad.
Oh yeah.
His girls adored him,
and they were all
you could see
as well.
in their eyes. You could see that you can tell a good parent by how their children are around them. With some children, the hero worship is not because they're good parents. It's out of starvation. It's starvation. Like, please love me, daddy. Please love me, daddy. But there's a contented look in a child's eyes that says, I know I'm the apple of your eye. And each of his daughters that was old enough, especially Gigi and Natalia, had it. And it just broke me. And the whole world, it's like Kobe's the first. I've lived through several celebrity deaths. Like, I've lived through several several, right?
It felt like the world is mourning.
Yeah, because this guy touched the entire planet.
It was amazing, the response to
it.
Gave. His teammates, every single person was emotional.
Because I felt guilty. Like, why you? They're like, dude, why you? I was crying. I was like, why are you crying about someone you don't know?
You don't know.
But then when I saw everybody else, I thought, okay, I'm not the only one.
People that barely watched basketball
knew about him.
My wife was depressed for like a whole day. And she wouldn't know basketball if I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Baby, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. But
you know, there was this thing. I know this. I don't know how this fits in with the emotional standpoint of this conversation. This guy Tracy McGrady. There was an interview in how he was saying that Kobe often reiterated that he wanted to beat Michael Jordan's record, that he wanted to die young, and he wanted to be immortalized.
When I heard that, I was like,
oh no.
You know, and I don't mean this as a swear word. Like, damn you, Kobe.
Like, why?
Why are you gonna go say that?
Why?
You know.
But yeah, you know what set me off? What set me off was watching Shaq. Shaq was watching.
No, I knew Shaq was going because people don't realize the guys loved each other. The reason why they had so much beef was they had so much love.
Yeah.
And having played organized sports, it's a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you go to war with these people, you form memories, you fight, you bleed, you're hurt, you accomplish the ultimate goal together. And so I thought about every single and see, people who say Kobe was a bad teammate. Can we put that to bed now?
Oh.
Because even those people are emotional.
Apart from Smush Parker and Kwame Brown, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, every single teammate Kobe had while he was the leader of that team will die for him today. All of them, Jordan Farmer, Sasha Vujacic, Lamar. Lamar was, I was like, someone pray for Lamar, please. I just hope he doesn't go back to using, because you could see he was broken.
Yeah.
And Ron Artest, who's nobody's fool, who's a guy from the hood, from the streets of New York. This guy who is age mates, and they're talking about him like he's their dad. Lamar was like, I wanted to make him proud. Artest was like, I wanted to make him proud. Power was like, I'm like, and I always saw it. I saw behind the whole media narrative, but I loved seeing the last few years where he came out of his shell and the guys he was, people like Giannis and what's this dude's name now? And Devin Booker and Jason Tatum and a whole new generation he was mentoring and training and imparting. Kyrie. Kyrie was like his son. Kyrie couldn't play the day he heard because he was like, Kyrie wins his first championship and FaceTimes Kobe in the locker room. That's like what you do to your dad. Like Mama, I made it.
Yeah. And even his daughter's Mamba Academy. I can't.
There were lots of news about what happened. His daughter having an asthmatic attack. Even after they had the news, the basketball players that were going to play, they paid tribute to his number 24 on the belly. Yeah, they were trying to just get bounced on the ball.
Oh yeah.
24-second violations, 8-second violations. But let me end by telling you, because I could tell you several Kobe stories from the past. Let me end by telling this one now. So first of all, I thought, hey, if Kobe can die at 41. So guys, whatever kind of beef you're holding with any kind of person, it ain't worth it.
It's actually not.
I was like, Lord, you know what? No more drama.
Life's way
too short. Secondly, and this sounds cheesy, because like I said, this dude is my
guy,
my age mate. But I was working on a client's job 2 days after he died, and one of my businesses is an accounting firm, and so we're doing a client's account, and there's something called materiality, which means depending on the overall value of the turnover. For instance, if you have 5 million in turnover, we're not going to spend too much time looking for £50,000 because it's not material to the overall. And so this client's account meant that about £1,000 was not material. And they weren't giving me the information I need quickly enough. And I was tempted to just put that down in the miscellaneous category. And that would have been fine. Hey, it's miscellaneous, but it's not material. And I just heard the words in my ear. What would Kobe do?
Oh, you know Kobe.
I was there. I was tempted to put it down at 1 a.m. in the morning. I was there till 6:30 a.m. Balancing it till I got down to like 50p, which was the value of the rounding up. because I was like, Mamba mentality.
Mamba mentality.
Kobe would see this through.
Yeah.
And even for me, even ministry, I'm like, if Kobe was a preacher, how do you think he'd prepare for his sermons?
He will go down to the end.
You know, and then also as a father, you know, I pick up my boys from school. I'm rushing to go drop them off with the reminder, and then I've just been slowing down. Like, you know, let's go buy a coffee together.
Yeah.
You know, just intentionally. Now,
yeah.
I always felt I was a decent father. So it's not like I'm doing stuff I didn't do before.
Yeah.
But I'm milking it for more meaning. I'm like, every
Yes.
second counts.
Yeah. Like valuing life and every bit of it.
And one of the reasons why Kobe and Gigi's thing broke me was one of my sons reminds me of Kobe and Gigi, Kadesh. Kadesh is like my Gigi. Kadesh walks into the house and he runs for me. Jeremy's like, yeah, where's my food? Oh, daddy, how you doing? Kadesh is like my shadow. And we, like Kobe and Gigi with basketball, Kadesh and I, we both love boxing. Kadesh loves boxing, so we shadow. And I was like, ugh.
It hit on, yeah.
I could just imagine them mid-air.
Oh, I don't want to.
Knowing Kobe, he probably hugged her. He probably covered her up, hoping maybe that she would survive somehow if he
took the impact or something. Yeah. Like, I avoided Twitter. I avoided everyone, and at work, because news is up. I'm like, I tried to avoid it. I
tried to avoid it, but I kept getting sucked in, and after a while, I started using it as fuel. Like, you know what? Let's remember this guy the right way.
Yeah.
And for me as a Christian, especially as a minister, my first thought was, oh Lord, is he? You know, is he easy? But then I started hearing stories and I read articles about how he was a regular churchgoer and he, you know, and all that stuff. And I saw an interview with Stephen A. Smith where he spoke about how Jesus came and helped him carry his cross. You know, and I'm like,
you have to find comfort in something.
And I was like, Lord, God, Kobe, I just hope. Anyway, man, Chrissy, let's
we need to end this.
Let's end this.
Oh yeah,
you and I could talk for hours, but
thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on my podcast. We need to reverse.
Definitely.
I don't know if I'm stylish enough for your.
I've got ideas. Don't worry. How to style your youth pastor.
Oh my God! How to style your youth pastor.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll work on that. Have you got a youth pastor that's constantly wearing a suit? Want to know how to? Okay, all right.
The shade is real.
But yeah, we'll work on something. But definitely.
Cool stuff.
Right,
So,
cool.
So how do we end this? We just like sign off and say bye. All right, guys. So it's been. Thank you for listening to our rambling.
No, we have to do the subscribe, like, share,
can you beg
and
them
all of
to
that.
subscribe?
Guys, come on! You know you love this content, and if you want to see more of this, share it as well. And yeah.
I'm trying to get to 1,000. How many subscribers have I got now?
I don't
like
know.
300 and something.
Oh, that's good.
I started in December.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, the people who start channels and they get like 10,000 in a week.
It's okay.
Come on, guys, help your boy. I just realized I'm looking at the monitor, not the camera. Come on, guys, help me get to
1,000. Yeah, we can do it. So definitely.
Can shop 10,000 ain't bad, and 100,000 is even better.
It's even better.
Oh, guys, take care. Have an amazing weekend. Now we've got to pack up all this gear.
Yeah,
and get ready for church tomorrow.
Oh yeah, great.
All right, guys.
All right, see you guys. Bye.